Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So we have a fairly strong area of support here, and you can see how we've bounced off that. Now, the other thing that you do have is you've got the oscillators pointing to the downside, and we have separated. We do have a bullish crossover of all the moving averages on the 8-hour, and remember, this was a bounce off a trend line. We are forming some form of an inside bar on the weekly, and we are in a downward trend on the weekly. So nothing that we need to be concerned of just yet, but that flag is something which is not concerning, but especially if you're holding long-term stocks, but potentially a little bit of excitement brewing. So a couple of things happened yesterday. Specifically in the UK, where they raised interest rates the most that they've ever raised them in 33 years in one go. So that was a big catalyst on the pound. It didn't really impact the euro USD much, but what it did do is just sort of impact the UK markets. And you can see how we sort of, if we look at what happened yesterday here, we really didn't do anything, so it didn't really impact the DAX at all. So the zone that we were looking at yesterday is still very much in place. That's 13,077 and 13,033, so possibly as low as 1300. And I think if I just drop this one onto our level here, you'll probably find that's 1300, well, 13,018. So that is the zone. We have got a bit of a rejection here. I prefer this to be a proper pin bar. It's not really a proper pin bar. It's got this tail to the upside and the body's too long for me to call it a pin bar. But there were buyers coming in there, and then we did have an inside bar forming here. So again, we've got bullish and bearish signals brewing on the higher time frames. And if you drop down to the 3-hour, you're going to see pretty much a similar situation. Look to the left, we've got a lot of potential support here, and here we've got an inside bar off here. So just on the 3-hour, if you look at the 3-hour, a break and retest of this area up here at 13,189, which is kind of top of range, would be an opportunity to buy into this with a view to retest this trend line to the upside. And that view is solidified with the oscillators that have crossed over and moving up. We are in an upward trend, although we are kind of in amongst moving averages now. So whenever we're in amongst moving averages, it dictates a range. And look to the left, that's kind of what is transpiring at the moment. But if we start just looking for opportunities on the lower time frame, this is where it gets really messy. And you can see we are below all the moving averages on the 1-hour oscillator, starting to group to the upside. So, and we've got a gap down here, which happened in the middle of the day. So the European session was moving quite nicely to the downside, and then all of a sudden we got at the US Open, we kind of meandered back to the top. So if you look to the left, I'm just going to add one more level here. You can see kind of in the middle of these two levels, which is 13,077 and 13,189. You can see right here in the middle at 13,131 is another bit of structure which we are flirting with, and we flirted with that the whole of the US session. Non-farm payrolls today, so that could very well impact us as well, and you just need to pay attention. There is a gap to the downside here, so, and we came very close to testing that. So if I just take this and put that there, you'll see that level is still very much in play. And if you look to the left, it's quite a strong area of potential support as well. So for me, we are still looking to short. Only challenge that we have at the moment in pre-market is that we are just drifting into the moving averages here. So it could be a situation of rejecting this area from yesterday again, or alternatively, what will happen at the open is we'll get below this area here at 13,133 and sort of reject it. So I would expect something in the lines of come down to the bottom here at 13,077, come back and pick any one of these tails here to reject, and then look for a break of this area and come and close this gap down here. And that's at 12,987. That's the only trade that I see today, and that needs to be done in the morning session. From the afternoon session, sort of from lunchtime onwards, I'd get out of the market, because then we're waiting for non-farm payrolls in the US in the later session. So, and for my South African friends, bear in mind that a lot of the stock markets have switched to daylight savings time, so we are playing an hour later now than what we have been playing. Okay, anyway, that's kind of my view this morning. More of a sit on hands until we break some structure, and then it's quickly in and quickly out if you've got the time to pay attention. No long-term bets just yet, because this is looking interesting, but I'm not too comfortable shorting off the hour just yet, and I'm also not comfortable buying off the hour either. So it will be short to these levels, off these levels, and aiming for these levels before getting out of the market. Okay, and that's it for me today. I hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you on Monday morning, where hopefully things have started to settle down a little bit. Cheers for now.